This is truly unprecedented. Neymar Jr. is set to inherit $1 billion from a fan he never met. But the big question is, will he actually accept it? This bombshell news is just the tip of the iceberg in a week that has shaken the very foundation of the football world. The biggest names in the game are making career-defining moves, and legacies are being tested. And we've meticulously gathered it all from the most trusted sources to tell you what really matters. So how did the player whose toughest decision was leaving his boyhood club just completely change the transfer market? And what did Toni Kroos really say about a new Liverpool signing that left the world baffled? We have all the answers for you, so stick around. You don't want to miss a thing. The emotional final dance. What an emotional night in Buenos Aires! Lionel Messi, in what is likely his last ever competitive home match for Argentina, delivered a performance for the ages. The iconic monumental stadium, packed to the rafters, was a sea of emotion as Messi, with his children watching on, scored 2 masterful goals in a commanding 3-0 victory over Venezuela. You could feel the gravity of the moment. The GOAT, at 38, is starting to think about the end, and this match felt less like a qualifier and more like a tearful, triumphant farewell to his home crowd. He's left the door open on the 2026 World Cup, saying that age and fitness are the deciding factors. But for the fans in Argentina, this night was the perfect final chapter on home soil. A truly legendary send-off. The dream moves. Speaking of emotional goodbyes, 2 of the summer's most shocking transfers are making headlines again. First, let's talk about Trent Alexander-Arnold. The Liverpool local, the boy who grew up in the academy, described his move to Real Madrid as one of the toughest decisions of his life. You can just feel the weight of that statement. It's hard enough for any player to leave their home club, but for a generational talent like Trent, who is so intrinsically linked with Liverpool, it's a whole other level. He says it felt like the right move at the right time, a dream come true. But you have to wonder what conversations were had behind the scenes to make that happen. And speaking of dream moves, we now have Gianluigi Donnarumma's side of the story on his shock switch to Manchester City. The Italian goalkeeper expressed his absolute pride and excitement, revealing that the move was driven by none other than Pep Guardiola himself. Imagine the feeling of being personally pursued by one of the greatest managers to ever grace the game. He said he couldn't wait to join and feels privileged to be part of a club like City. These aren't just transfers, they're paradigm shifts for these players and the leagues they're joining.
The inheritance bombshell. And now to the story that has absolutely captivated the football world. A headline so wild you have to read it twice just to believe it. Neymar Jr. has been reportedly named the sole heir to a staggering $1 billion fortune by a Brazilian billionaire he has never even met. Let that sink in for a second. An anonymous admirer with a net worth of over $1 billion decided to leave it all to Neymar. The will has been formally registered, and the courts are now reviewing his acceptance. This is not some far-fetched rumor. This is a legitimate legal proceeding. It's a completely unheard-of situation that blurs the lines between celebrity admiration and extreme personal generosity. It's a story that is as shocking as it is fascinating, and it's going to have people talking for a long, long time.
And we're just getting started. If you're loving this deep dive into the stories that truly matter, do me a favor. Take a second to subscribe to the channel, hit that like button, and let us know in the comments which one of these insane headlines has you the most hyped. Your support helps us keep bringing you this in-depth, honest football news.
The record-breaking spend. In other news that involves jaw-dropping figures, Liverpool has gone absolutely berserk. The club has smashed transfer records by spending a monumental £446 million in this window. the highest ever for a Premier League club, exceeding Chelsea's £434.5 million in 2023. This is not just a statement of intent, this is a declaration of dominance. They have brought in top-tier talent like Alexander-Isak and are building a squad that looks absolutely terrifying. You have to wonder how on earth they've managed this, but their business has been absolutely flawless. It seems their strategy of selling high-value players like Luis Diaz and Darwin Núñez has paid off in a massive way. And with the Reds now having last season's top two Premier League goal scorers, Alexander-Isak and Mohamed Salah, in the same squad, you can't help but be excited by what's to come. But not everyone is excited. On his podcast, the always blunt Tony Kroos minced no words about that very Alexander-Isak deal. He stated, and I quote, "I trust our listeners, but I'd say that roughly half of them have never even heard of Isak. It's a lot of money, no doubt." That is some serious shade from a decorated veteran. It's a highly skeptical and yet very fair critique of the insane inflation in the transfer market. And it puts an incredible amount of pressure on Isak to prove everyone, including Kroos, wrong.
It's Longstaff, and it's in for Isak!
That Newcastle Trippier's whipped ball in. Anderson on the left, Willock involved, Burns gone into the area, Wilson into the area, Callum Wilson on his left, Alexander go again, Longstaff into the corner on the right, back to Isak, has another! And tries to get Isak in behind Konsa, who's lost it to Isak in the penalty area, Isak has chipped it over the keeper, and into
The enduring legends. Let's not forget the other major headlines from around the world. We have more news on the football legends that just won't quit. It's been exactly a year since Cristiano Ronaldo netted his 900th career goal for Portugal, marking an unprecedented milestone. He's now just 60 goals shy of reaching that iconic 1,000-goal landmark. 60 goals might sound like a lot, but for Ronaldo, it's just a matter of time. And speaking of icons, Portugal also took a moment to honor some of their late greats with bronze tributes and national awards, a beautiful gesture of remembrance and respect.
Who is Neto? That's a good... Oh, what an effort that is! And a stunning Ronaldo goal to make it 4-0 right at the start of the second half.
The youngest king. And on the other end of the generational spectrum, the teenage sensation Lamine Yamal now has his own bespoke Adidas signature logo. The logo, co-designed with him, incorporates LY and 304, the number a reference to his Rocafonda neighborhood and Barcelona roots. What an incredible statement of recognition for a player so young. It cements his status not just as a phenom, but as a global brand.
Frontal del área, se va Lamine buscando el remate desde ahí. ¡Ócula!
Se cayó Lamine, sigue Lamine, buscará el disparo. ¡Lazo!
C'est incroyable ce qu'il a.
Managerial mayhem and club controversies. Moving on to the sidelines, Paris Saint-Germain manager Luis Enrique suffered a fractured collarbone in a cycling accident and is set to undergo surgery. It's a very unfortunate incident, and we wish him a speedy recovery. Meanwhile, in what feels like a saga that will never end, Anthony spoke candidly about his painful time at Manchester United, revealing he was training separately and living in a hotel for over 40 days. That is a truly difficult experience for any professional footballer, and his willingness to speak on it highlights the mental toll the game can take. And speaking of United, Erik ten Hag and his backroom staff have reportedly earned a whopping 28.1 million euros over just 10 months after being sacked by both Manchester United and Bayer Leverkusen. That is an astonishing amount of money for a managerial dismissal. The world stage and future talk. Morocco has made history, becoming the first African nation to qualify for the 2026 World Cup with a dominant 5-0 win over Niger. What an incredible achievement for them, and a huge moment for African football. And finally, let's go back to one of the biggest names in the game. Casemiro has turned down a move to Al Nassr, deciding to remain at Manchester United to bolster his chances of playing in the 2026 World Cup. His decision shows the pull of the sport's most prestigious competition, even for players who have won it all.
And that is a wrap on all the biggest headlines that have truly shaken the football world this week. We've covered everything from career-defining transfers to monumental achievements and even an inheritance bombshell. There is so much to talk about and so much more to come. Make sure you hit that share button and send this video to your fellow football fanatics. And before you go, let us know in the comments below, if you were in Neymar's shoes, would you accept the billion-dollar fortune? We upload 2 videos every week, so we'll see you in the next one with all the latest from the world of football.